need a Portuguese bank account in order to invest and live in Portugal? Yes, you do. So since you do, let's dive into the Portuguese banking system. First of all, just to give some context, all Portuguese banks are regulated and supervised by the Portuguese Central Bank, that is part of Eurosystem, so under the supervisory of the European Central Bank, and therefore, complying to the European banking law, they need to provide guarantee up to 100,000 euros to every deposit that is open in their banks. So if you open a bank account in Portugal, as well as in any European country, you will be provided with a guarantee by the central bank up to 100,000 euros on your deposit. That said, about the banks that operate in Portugal, first of all, it's curious to notice that Portugal has not many banks operating in the country. Even for a small country, the number of banks that are operating here is not relevant, and there are not many international players that are operating commercial banks here in Portugal. The tier 1 banks that I can think of are Millennium BCP, BPI, and CGD, that is the state-owned bank. These are, I would say, large banks for a Portuguese context. I mean, there are absolutely not large banks compared to American banks or UK or France bank, but they are the largest bank that are based in Portugal and operate in Portugal. So most of the people that come here as an expat, as a digital nomad, as a D7 holder, they usually open the bank account within these banks. Millennium, BPI, CGD, sometimes in Novo Banco. Novo Banco has a peculiar story because it's a new bank that was created after the bailout, the painful bailout, I would say, of the Banco Spirito Santo. But yeah, these are the most mainstream commercial bank that I can think of. I will put the full list of all banks operating in Portugal in the description of this video. Then tier 2, middle to small banks that you have here in Portugal are Banco Montepio, Bison Bank, Banco Atlântico. There are a couple. And then you have smaller private banks that usually just provide private banking services like Banco Caragosa. So what should you look at when you open a bank account, when you start thinking about opening a bank account in Portugal? So first of all, you need to look at if the bank provides you with the compliance that you need to do what you need to do in Portugal. So if you are an American willing to invest in a Portuguese fund for the purpose of the Golden Visa, you will need a bank that is FATCA compliant and will allow Americans to hold shares in the account, because investing in a fund would need a security account in which you hold your shares, and not all the banks are equipped to provide this service, and even fewer banks are equipped to provide this for American investors, because American investors have a peculiar level of compliance, meaning they need to file the FATCA, the FATCA documentation, FATCA compliance. So the only 2 banks that I know that are compliant for Americans that want to invest in funds are Bison Bank and Banco Atlântico. But I would be happy if anyone seeing this video would leave me in the comment other banks that provide this service. I would be more than happy to know that there are other providers. Having said that, other things that you need to look at when you open a bank account are, of course, the level of service, besides the compliance, if they provide credit cards, the debit cards, if they provide any kind of loans that you might need, like consumer loans or mortgage if you want to purchase a real estate. And of course, the cost of the account can vary. They can apply any kind of especially to expats, to foreigners that open accounts here, they tend to apply higher costs for the simple reason that a foreign investor is a headache for them. They need to do more compliance. It's more expensive for them to open a bank account for a foreigner, especially for a non-European. So that's why they tend to apply higher costs. They tend to slow down the opening process, so maybe the clients get annoyed and renounce to open a bank account, because really they are not very happy to open this kind of bank accounts. So when you decide to open a bank account in Portugal, of course, look at if it's compliant for your needs, if to provide the service that you want, the cost that they apply to your bank account, and of course the foreign exchange cost, because you will need to transfer money in other currencies. So this is very important, look at how expensive it is to transfer money in other currencies, or hold an account in other currencies like US dollars, for example. And then speak with your advisor or your lawyer, or speak to me if you want, and ask in which bank they think it would be better for you to open the bank account. Because it's not a secret that some banks tend to be more difficult towards certain nationalities, because for compliance reason, because some countries, some jurisdictions are more complicated in terms of compliance, sometimes for political reasons. So, for example, people from Russia and Belarus, there are some hurdles in open bank accounts for certain jurisdictions. I think that's it for today. We covered in general the banking system in Portugal. If you want to know more, you can just try to contact me through my contacts and my social that you can find here in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I wish you a great day.